Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, bringing you another something special. I got extremely lucky the other day. I went into a Myers, as I saw. Actually, said that they had a Booker's in stock. Turns out they didn't, but they had a Blanton's. So at $58, I couldn't go wrong and bought myself a Blanton's. So today, we're gonna give this one a try, and joining me is one of my very best friends, Eric. He's hi, Eric.
Oh, hi, Eric.
Okay, cool. So today we're going to be checking out the Blantons. We're going to be doing some comparisons to some other whiskeys that we enjoy, and one from the same distillery, and actually that's going to be Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is the same distillery that makes Blanton's, so that is one of our first comparisons that we're going to be making. It is wheated bourbon as to this is mash bill number 1 versus the other one, which is mash bill number 2, which contains slightly higher rye. Don't know if it has wheat in it. Kind of doesn't state which way it leans in anything other than the rye content. It must be at least 51% corn to be considered bourbon. So what that last little bit is, not even a slight clue. Then to do another little fun comparison, we're doing a Jack Daniel's single barrel. Let's see how that one works. As it's another single barrel, just comparing one single barrel to another. But this one is incredibly high proof, so this one will kick, and it will be interesting. Outside of that, Eric brought another wheated bourbon to try against the Buffalo Trace. We're just trying to see specifically what you can kind of compare it to, if it's as good as other single barrels, if it's as good as other wheateds, if it's as good as even Buffalo Trace's very own Buffalo Trace. So today we'll be checking these out in those orders, and we'll give you our opinions and shoot the breeze a bit. Obviously, we're going to be starting with Blanton's. So Blanton's is a very special bourbon for the fact that it was the very first single barrel ever released. It is specifically from Warehouse H. I guess the story goes that George Blanton? I believe so. He used to, when he was the head of the distillery and everything, he used to believe that all his best bourbons came from Warehouse H. It was the only all-metal warehouse, and his favorite supply, his favorite personal stock always came from there, and he'd always give it to special guests that would show up. So this is a kind of a rarity these days. You can see upwards of like insanely high amounts of like $300 online. Never would recommend paying that much for this, especially since its MSRP is roughly about $60. So it's kind of extreme. So yeah, I've still never opened this, so we're gonna get it opened and kind of check it out. What are you expecting, Eric? The very first single barrel ever released. It's kind of interesting. It's like a wax seal on top, and then it has a plastic.
A little pull.
Yeah.
You have to fight with it as much?
Yeah. Different. Cool little horse on top. I got the one that has the B on it, so I guess I started with the start. I guess if you collect all of them, you get something specific, special. Oh, that was underwhelming. Hold on. Gotta fix that. Well, better if I didn't splash a little. Horse rest. Let's pour. Let it open up a little bit while we chat a tiny bit. It's got good color. Not exactly the darkest, but it's definitely not light. We were having scotches the other day, and those were a lot lighter, especially the Glenfiddich. It's a lot lighter. Alright. Sitting at 93 proof, I believe it was. Yep. Get anything off the nose?
Unfortunately, pretty
No.
stuffy.
Eric is coming in with a small cold. He's got the consumption.
Just these allergies. Hoping some of this bourbon helps
Clear it up.
helps kick that stuff loose.
Well, that Jack Daniels will definitely clear you up. I'm promising it. 129 proof. Yeah. No, that's. I get a lot of caramel, some cherry. You get stuffy nose.
I get my mucus. Oh, wait, I got a little bit there. I was gonna plug the one nose. I got one good one.
Hey, whatever works, right? Caramel, cherry, a little bit of oak.
I think with stuffy nose, the only thing really come through is that oaky.
It's a little bit of ethanol actually. I'm getting more than I would expect at 93 proof. A lot of cherry comparatively for me. It's not the strongest. The nose is good. It's very, very good. It's just not like amazing by any means. I center the glass. Color's not bad. Bit oily. It's definitely sticking to the sides of the glass, which is good. Usually tends to carry more of flavor if it does that. All right, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Bottoms up. Definitely sweet. Definitely sweet. I got a lot of oak, deep sugar flavors, like kind of like a brown sugar, caramel, a little bit of vanilla. Very standard for bourbon, to be honest. Tiny bit of pepper. You got a tiny bit of pepper on the early part.
Yeah, I feel a little bit of that, kind of that little bit peppery burn.
Yeah, on the very beginning and on the back end. Kind of fades in the middle, and you get a lot of sweetness, some sugar and caramel. Yeah, that's good. It's very good. That is very good, actually. That is very good. For what it's bringing, every flavor is very concentrated, strong, but not overpowering. Going back to the nose, not getting anything new this time. Sometimes you get something new coming back up. Nothing. Last tasting for myself.
It's definitely a very drinkable bourbon.
Oh yeah, this is
Like
a
it's-
sipper. This is a genuine sipper. It's very good.
Neat.
Yeah, it's not that dry. Like for as much oak flavor as I'm getting, it's not as like the tannins aren't quite as there. Quite as strong. Words are hard. But no, honestly, it's
It's only English, and I only speak it every day of my life. But
yeah, but you know, words are hard. Bourbon's delicious. No, it's very good. Honestly, it's.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a very solid bourbon. Certainly not wrong with that. Check out the bottle. It's got one of the most unique bottle shapes that you'll find in bourbons.
It's like a old pineapple.
Yeah.
No.
It was considered
World War I.
the grenade bottle.
Grenade.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like the little pull mechanism. Weirdly, I thought this was going to be metal. I didn't think this was going to be plastic, but it turns out it's plastic. I didn't do a very good job of looking at it. I was more fascinated with the bottle shape and the horse on top, I guess. I didn't notice that this was, yeah. It's good though.
This one was a single barrel too.
Yeah, they're all single barrel. They only come in single barrel. So, I guess there's a couple different versions. I'm not too informed on those.
For for a single barrel, definitely not a harsh drink.
Yeah.
A lot of the other single barrels tend to be a little more dry.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little more kick you in the teeth, burn.
Yeah, they tend to also be higher proof. I don't know if they proof
You don't
this
get
one
that.
down.
You don't get that mellow that you would normally get with blended whiskeys.
Yeah.
But this, honestly, it went down like a blended to me.
It was very mellow. Yeah.
I hate using the word smooth to describe.
But 93 proof is certainly not 80 proof, but it drank like an 80 proof. I can see why, outside of the ridiculously beautiful bottle, why it garners so much attention. It's a very solid bourbon. Now, do I think it's worth anything more than $60? I'm going to be honest, I really don't. But I would pay $60 every time for that if I ran into it, just because it's that good at $60. But I've had more interesting experiences at higher price points. So for me personally, I wouldn't say it was really worth much more, especially the $100 or $300 price tag you'll sometimes see in stores or online. Pass. Is that a roughly where you're going to be landing on that for price, or how much would you pay for that? How much do you feel comfortable paying for something like that?
I think I would. I don't think 60 would hit it for me. I think if it was something I was going to give to someone, I thought at 60, yeah. Something for my own collection at home, I'd keep around 50.
50 at your tops? What you'd pay for that?
Yeah.
I mean, I paid 58, which I don't know how I managed that. But I walk in for one thing that I thought was rare, and I walk into something else even more rare. Yeah, no, it's very good though. I very much enjoyed it. It's something that I will be enjoying for a little bit of time. Toned it down just a little bit now. I'm going to be going to the classic old simple Buffalo Trace. The wheat bourbon comes from the same distillery. Different mash bill. This one's mash bill number 1. This is a wheated bourbon, as I stated. It's sitting at 90 proof. These, when you can find them, are incredibly cheap. This is $25 a bottle. So if you have this, and this is relatively comparative to the Blantons in terms of quality, not necessarily going to be flavors, but if the quality is relatively similar and you're happy with this, $25 versus 60. It's not even a question. So clean the glass, getting a little water real quick. It's not trying to get plastered. Just trying to enjoy a sip.
Oh, I can't really get plastered.
Well, I guess you came to the right place. There's plenty of proof in the next one. I mean, that's just a byproduct of what's happening,
I can never be a tester, I can tell you that. Thought of dipping into a barrel with a plunge and getting a little bit of taste and then spitting it out. It seems like such a waste.
I mean, you can't get the full experience if you're spitting that out anyway. You can't feel that nice warm hug that goes down your throat and just envelops you. Some joy.
Get in your belly.
Yeah. Alright, might as well try the Buffalo Trace. So on the back it says, the ancient paths of countless buffalo led America westward. Legendary explorers, pioneers, and settlers alike follow these trails, known as traces. Through rugged wilderness to new lands, new adventures, and newfound freedom, one such trace, called the Great Buffalo Trace, crossed the Kentucky River at a spot just north of the present-day Frankfort. Early pioneers settled here in 1775, and with plentiful, pure limestone water and rich river bottom bloom from growing exceptional grains. Distillation quickly followed, with an unparalleled reputation for creating outstanding bourbon whiskey. The Buffalo Trace Distillery today stands as one of America's oldest distilling sites. The bold heritage of the mighty buffalo and the individual and pioneering spirit of those early Americans can again be found in Buffalo Trace Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. The very finest bourbon created at the Buffalo Trace Distillery. Traditionally handcrafted, Buffalo Trace has a smooth, confident taste that invites discovery with every sip. Explore Buffalo Trace and taste the spirit of legends. I mean, this thing really talks itself up, but I mean, obviously, I've obviously had some before. It really talks itself up. We'll try it live, and I'll let you know what we think here and now. I mean, for $25, it is talking itself up a lot. So, but then again, they talk themselves up a lot for the Blantons also, and that one seems to sell like, you know, like it's the greatest thing ever. It marks itself up in value by extreme amounts. So, yeah. All right. Got some on my hands. Trying to get a sniff. All right. Time to, wow. This is way sweeter. Definitely sweeter. Getting kind of I mean, classic bourbon with the cherry. There's definitely, but this is a lot sweeter cherry. Almost like a maraschino cherry.
It has that maraschino cherry smell. You get a little bit of that. That would make it old fashioned.
Yeah.
Which is, I've been a fan of Buffalo Trace for a long time.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo Trace is usually one of my go-tos for old fashions.
Understandably. I mean, it's a sweeter, old fashioned sweeter drink. And this would definitely lend to it. This is got a great nose. I mean, it's fairly simple. I just get like sweet maraschino cherries, caramel, and a little bit of wood, and oaky wood too. All right, time for trying. I actually get more ethanol off this than I did the slightly higher proof Blantons. 93 versus 90. I mean, it's a very small amount, but I get more burn off this. It's fantastic, though. It's
I
really
get the burn up front, but
yeah, no, it does go away. It does go away.
Down,
and
which is nice.
I agree.
Good up.
I do agree. I think the Blantons was a little warmer going down, but this is a lot more. At least my first initial tasting was a lot more ethanol right away, and then it just dissipates pretty quickly, and then it's just really sweet.
Yeah, it's
Candied cherries.
It's very
maraschinos.
It's very candy, like almost dissolves on your tongue.
Yeah.
Taste like.
It's really good though. For $25, it's hard to get better if you like a sweeter bourbon, that is. Personally, I'm not super partial to sweeter bourbons. I like kind of like weirder, more complex ones.
Yeah, this is very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a lot up
Good.
front. Not a lot in the finish.
No, just this lingering slight sweet, very hint of oak, but it's very sweet. It really is.
I think that a lot up front and kind of tapers off very fast.
Yeah.
Something that really lends itself to like Buffalo Trace being very good for mixed drinks.
Yeah, mixed drinks. Yeah.
Because it doesn't. You get that up front bourbon taste that you're looking for, but it doesn't overtake your drink.
Yeah. I can see how that would certainly lend to being a very good for mixes. It's very solid. Would I consider it better than Blanton's? Personally, no. For the price point, yes. like without a doubt.
I mean,
if I had to choose, especially if Blanton's not, if it's $58 that I bought it at, every single time I'm going to choose Buffalo Trace because, well, it's cheaper, and you get nearly as good of an experience, to be honest. Blanton's is not, at least the bottle that we got was not out of this world. It was very good, just not out of this world. Like, didn't speak to anything more than $60 to me. At $40-50, as kind of you said, I think that's actually probably where it should be sitting. Yeah, but no, it's fantastic. I would probably say I'd still choose the Blantons in terms of flavor and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
personally.
At $25 all day.
Yeah, every time Buffalo Trace with the $25. All right, you ready to clear your sinuses?
Man, I am.
This is gonna do it for you, hopefully. This is the single barrel Jack Daniels. Jack was obviously, being that I live in America, one of the very first whiskeys I ever had of any kind. Obviously, this is not a bourbon, but it is a single barrel, and in all intents and purposes, this could be considered a bourbon. It's just they like to do the whole, char or charcoal filtered. Yeah. The
6 feet or whatever it is, charcoal that it runs through.
Yeah, which is it's supposed to make it smoother, whatnot. And Jack is very good. It's just kind of one note. Like it's very simple, but it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. So I got a barrel proof single barrel, hoping that it would have some more complex flavors. I guess we'll find out more on that and see if this particular single barrel is above and beyond the Blantons. Now this is obviously a smaller bottle. This is only 375 milliliters, but I only paid I think it was like $15 to $20 for this. So you're talking, when you get the regular bottle, it ends up being about the same or cheaper than Blanton's. So 750 milliliter bottle ends up being the same or cheaper. Then why would you go with the Blanton's if the alternative is better? So this is a good try. Again, if you love Blanton's, if that is your go-to, then I don't know how you find it all the time, but good for you. This is all subjective and opinions, and this is just giving everybody a chance to understand that Blanton's is very good, but it's not the end-all be-all. Do not be upset that you can never find it. If you can never find it, it's not like you're missing out on something amazing or ridiculous that you'll never find anywhere else. It's a standard, very good single-barrel bourbon. With that having been said, when was the last time you had Jack?
Man, I don't even know. I think the last one I had, it was probably that big boy bottle that Nick got me.
Oh, is that
birthday. The one that's now a lamp in my basement.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
As I've gotten older, I've just been trying more whiskeys. Realize that Jack is a staple, especially here in America. It's just not. It doesn't live up to its name.
No, not
at least not the
legendary type status. It kind of holds
that black label one. I forget what number it is.
Yeah, old number 7.
Old number 7. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is good. There is nothing wrong with it. It's just a kind of one-trick pony. That's the thif someone offered me a glass of Jack, I would never turn it down. But I'm not going to go seek it out myself. But this one intrigued me. So.
Offer me a glass of whiskey. I'm not going to turn it down.
There is one that I would probably turn down, having recently retried and realized it's not exactly. Oh my God, that was a woohoo! Did you hear that? That is a nice pop. That was pretty. That was very pretty. Actually, the bottle's very pretty too. I'm gonna pour these, let them breathe a tiny bit. We'll talk about the bottle. Probably should have poured less. It's almost 130. I like the squeak on the bottles, but that is a super pretty bottle. Look at the neck on that bottle. It's got the Nice it's golden brass. Bottling date was 2019. So it's been sitting on the shelf a little bit. I saved it. Yeah, brick number R10. Master distiller, you can see if it focuses, whoever that is, I can't read. We already established that one. Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, Tennessee whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee, master distillery. Yeah, 64.55% ABV and 129.1 proof. And then the back just says all the things that you definitely need to know. But yeah, be smart, be responsible, drink every bit.
Even if you're pregnant.
Let's not say that. Don't need to be sued. But yeah, definitely be smart with your liquor. You're not looking to get plastered every time. Just enjoy it. Sip it. Oh man. A lot of barrel.
Yeah.
What you would expect
Definitely.
with 129 proof, I'm not getting as much ethanol as I was expecting. I mean, it's there. It's definitely
I
there.
can feel it, even with the sniff. I get it. One thing Jack has known for is you can always really taste the barrel.
Yeah. I definitely get that. I get a small bit of like a tartar cherry. Not we're talking opposite of Buffalo Trace, not that maraschino, but kind of like on the other end of the spectrum, a little more towards the tart side of the cherry. It's fairly light. A lot of vanilla though. There's a lot of vanilla on this. A lot. I mean, the color is beautiful for a Jack. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Pretty. A lot of vanilla, tart cherry, barrel oak, hint of caramel. There's a bit of caramel sweetness on the back end. Like, as actually, the further I get away, I get mostly sweetness, and the closer I get, cherry and wood. You'll know someday when you can smell again.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as you can taste it.
Oh, it was doing good this morning.
When you live in the nose, it's all memories. It's not scientific. When you taste it, that's the true experience. The nose is a beautiful thing sometimes. Like when you get Macallans, they're incredibly beautiful in the nose, but as soon as you taste them, they don't quite live up. So let's give this one a try.
Yeah, this will definitely clear you up. It's got a bite.
Yeah, but there's something beautiful about that.
I think as far as the single barrel goes, this is more what you expect.
This
Big,
is
bold,
yeah,
in your face.
yeah,
Like you, one sip in and you know this is
yeah. But I'm
single barrel.
so don't get what he's saying twisted. It's not overpowering. It's not like something that's gonna kick your teeth in too much flavor. It's a really reined in, hitting the perfect notes. Very bold flavor. It's a lot sweeter than any Jack I've ever had. A lot of vanilla. It's like it tripled down in the cherry, the vanilla, and the barrel oak in the most beautiful way. They're almost harmonious together. It's really good. But my God, that pepper hits you in the teeth in the beginning. That heat comes in pretty strong.
Definitely a good clear your sinuses.
Yeah.
It is.
Actually,
It is.
you want to know something funny? This is 129 proof, and I've actually had bourbons that are stronger, like ethanol right up front. The alcohol hits you so much stronger, even though this is the highest proof I have personally had for whiskey, at least. Going back now, I smell brown sugar. A lot of brown sugar, and the cherry note got sweeter. No, going on a journey. I thought I realized something, but I totally didn't. So, first sniffing, it was very light on sugar. Then it became stronger. Second taste, the first one was a lot sweeter, at least initially. The second time I tried it, it came in a lot of pepper, a lot of barrel, and then it just evolved into strong, sweet vanilla. No cherry on the flavor. Second time around. It's lingering though. The flavor does linger, and the burn lingers a little bit.
I still feel it.
Fry too much from that to get to the rabbit hole.
Oh no, you.
That's genuinely very good. I wonder how this would be in an old fashioned, being all that vanilla, and it'd probably actually be really good. I would imagine this would be really good. And the fact that it's a higher proof, when you dilute it, it would still stay a bit strong. So the flavors would definitely carry through.
A bit old fashioned, you can feel.
Oh yeah.
Be nice, more good for a nice chilly day like today. Sit out on your back porch.
Yeah, yesterday we actually had a really interesting discussion about the what type of alcohol is actually better during winter. Because I was leaning in the direction where you want a nice warm, something that kind of hugs you and keeps you warm. Jabril, who was over yesterday, was discussing how he actually likes brighter stuff during the winter. It's not necessarily about the heat, but more of something that makes you kind of feel livelier, happier, brighter, kind of wakes you up during the wintertime.
There's actually I'm not a fan of it. You said this is one of the sweetest jacks you've ever tried. There is a winter jack. It's this white bottle. It's almost translucent, like how light colored it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like drinking candy. It's so sweet. Is it? I did not enjoy it.
Yeah. Fair enough. But it's definitely a lot sweeter and brighter.
So even Jack said, "Hey, it's winter time. You should drink something that's
keeping your spirits up and
make you happy."
Yeah.
But yeah, I would prefer something like this in a winter nights. You got 3 feet of snow, and you're just looking at your driveway. I'm not shoveling this, and then you do shovel it,
and then it snows right away.
And then for me, your beard is iced over.
Oh god, yeah.
So I go for a nice something with nice
warm, frost, yeah.
something that you feel.
Yeah. It's not necessarily in reality, but it makes you feel that warmth, and it gets you in a better place. Yeah. All right, so Rabbit Hole is the one that you brought as a weeded comparison to the Buffalo Trace.
I know.
Potentially Blanton's, which may contain wheat, but it doesn't seem to. It was hard to find because the mash bill, again, is shrouded in secrecy, but contains more wheat, or rye, than the mash bill number 1, which is what Buffalo Trace uses in the Buffalo Trace whiskey.
Okay.
But want to tell us about this one a little bit?
I actually know absolutely nothing about it. This was gifted to me.
It has a rabbit on it.
It does have a rabbit on it. It was gifted to me. It's a relatively new company. The name Rabbit Hole. So this was, the bottle tells me that it was established in 2012.
Yeah, fairly new.
Relatively new. I've seen it popping up a lot. I've seen a few articles that mention it. Yeah, like I said, it was
a couple of my.
I got it as a birthday present.
Yeah. It's a 4-grain small batch from what it says. This bourbon consists of 70% corn, 10% malted wheat, 10% malted barley, and 10% honey malted barley. Never chill filtered, as it should be. Well, chill filter process tends to be anything at under 46% ABV, because if you do not chill filter it, adding any water will cause a lot of cloudiness and it has to do with the oils and stuff like that mixing with the water. So you want to keep it above a certain proof.
And you see that some of it was drank, but this will be
The first
my first tasting.
Yeah.
Because the little bit that we drank was a failed drink experiment that we wanted to try out. And Rabbit Hole just was not the
Correct.
right whiskey to go
Yeah.
with for what we were trying to go for. We're trying to go for a s'more. I made some marshmallow bitters, and we had our marshmallow simple syrup and
Yeah.
some chocolate bitters. Thought maybe we'll try to do a little bit of a spin on a s'more
Yeah,
type of old fashioned.
he sent us a photo of it when he was making it. It looked absolutely.
Oh yeah, we tried to make it pretty.
Oh man.
We tried to make it all pretty. We dusted the rim with some graham cracker, garnished with the marshmallow that we toasted. It looked very nice. It seemed like it was gonna be a very good drink, but having a straight bourbon with it just wasn't
The right call.
We do now have a chocolate whiskey that we're gonna retry that with.
Yeah.
Go back through the same. I'll have to make more of the bitters, or more of the simple syrup for it.
Yeah. And I mean, some people get a little upset. Some of the whiskey snobs when you talk about what's it called? Flavored whiskeys. But honestly, screw that. Screw that. The reality is that everything is subjective. Everyone has their own opinions, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying it. If you prefer just classic Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, if you prefer classic peated scotches, enjoy them. No one's taking them away from you. Enjoy them because they're freaking delicious. But everyone has their own opinion, and
Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own taste, their own thing.
Yeah.
I think getting upset or about taking whiskeys and flavoring them and stuff, really it should just be something that opens up conversations and allows you to give something else a try.
Yeah. Life is about experiences, and if you only see, basically, what is it called when you...
Tunnel vision?
Yeah, get tunnel vision on one particular experience and you refuse to see what the rest of life has to offer, you miss a lot of beautiful things. You really do. So.
You can't live life in one lane. You gotta...
I like the top. I like the fact that it's painted, has the cut in.
It's an appealing bottle.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's... You see it, you know what it is.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's San Francisco World Spirits Competition Gold. That means something.
There's a little bit more inside in there.
What does it say?
It's the QR code.
Oh, helpful. When I'm using my phone to film this.
And then on the back it just has the address and a picture of the distillery.
Oh, okay. So if you guys want their address, you can find a bottle on your shelf and bother them, I guess, and let them know that they either have amazing, fantastic, world-changing whiskey, or you're not particularly a fan, and here's the reason why. Because snail mail's a real thing. And they still do it, I guess.
Hey, I think if you're gonna...
I only get bills.
I think if you're gonna... If you want to complain about something, the best way to do it is do it through the mail. That means
Twitter seems to be the thing these days. People get more traction with that.
Yeah, but that's Twitter is I had a bad experience, I'm gonna respond to it right away.
Yeah.
If you write a letter, you sat down, you thought this out, you took the time to buy postage.
Yeah.
You got an envelope, because who has stamps laying around their house that isn't my grandma or grandpa at this point?
Pretty much.
I don't think I've ever bought one in my life. Anytime I had to mail something, I've had to go to the post office and hand it back. How much is this and how?
Yeah, someone please help. Unfortunately, our generation really hasn't had this opportunity.
I don't understand how the post office is still a thing, because 100% of my mail winds up in the recycling.
Yeah, it's mostly junk. At least someone's paying them. They have a job, so that's good for them, I guess. Let's give this one a pop. Oh, that's a nice pop. I did enjoy that one.
Nice girthy.
Pretty bottle, pretty pop.
Nice girthy sound.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Let's see your little Glencairn. Trying to get relatively the same as me. I misjudged that a lot. Somehow I gave you a lot more. But you know what? It's your whiskey. Enjoy it. It's my whiskey and I need it now. Not that deep. Oh man. Huh. Can't put my finger on it, but there is a sweetness about this that's different than the others. Yeah, I know. You're struggling
Still,
here.
still, I mean, it's looser now, but
Yeah. Loose doesn't always mean that it's coming through. What is that? Oh, I mean, it's good. It's good. It's not amazing, but it's good. I enjoy what I'm smelling, but I'm trying to figure out what it is.
it happened to be honey.
Shut up. Shut up with the honey stuff.
With
Yeah,
the
I
honey-
know.
honey
It says honey
part.
on the side, and you know what? That's what it is, and that's what disturbs me now. That's why I'm like, shut up.
Probably.
Because it's probably the honey that was literally listed on the side that I completely missed. Yeah, no, it's honey. It's strong honey.
Ooh, actually, I can smell that a little bit.
It's definitely like a McDonald's honey. I say that because I always dip my chicken nuggets in honey.
I used to.
I grew up doing that. I don't know why.
I love honey.
I actually recently bought this one honey. It's called Hive. It's actually a spicy honey, and
Ooh.
it's so good.
Are you a fan of peanut butter?
I am.
So there's this peanut butter.
Honey?
It's not honey.
Okay, good.
But I think the company's called Fix and Fog.
Okay.
It's a 100% natural, so it's the real peanut butter, not like
Yeah. The
Not
kind
like
that,
Jif,
once in a
not like
while
Jif.
you have to mix it.
it.
Don't knock
it
Jif. I
separates.
love Jif.
When it comes to peanut butter, Jif is what we have in our house.
Yeah, me too.
Big tubs of it all the time.
Yeah.
Fix and
But,
Fog, it's a little pricey because it's a
Natural peanut
natural,
butter.
but they make flavors.
Yeah.
We'll get to the bourbon when we get back to that.
Why? Did you get intrigued? You actually have the smell?
Let's get the tastings.
I really want to see if this has honey on the taste. That is very different than a lot of the stuff we've had.
Very different.
But that's good.
Different to any bourbon I've had.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything to compare it to.
It like the very initial rush is what I would consider pure honey. it's
Yeah.
a nice, well,
It's
it's,
hard to-
more like a watered down honey. It's a nice mellow sweetness. It's cooling, and then it envelops into wood, oak, pepper, bright cherry, punch you in the face ethanol, and then the ethanol dissipates right away, and then
I feel no burn.
really?
It's nice and.
Hey, good
I
for
mean,
you.
I got followed up at the Jack. I mean,
Okay, fair enough.
the single barrel that did have a fair amount of. I feel almost no burn. This is. Yeah,
Second
this is-
tasting, no burn, very mellow. The oak is what I finish on, which is good, to be honest. As long as I don't get these strong tannins in oak, I actually prefer an oak flavor. It's almost peppery. It's almost smoky. I love oak flavor. I actually made my own, or aged my own. You know what? Might as well just add it to the video. I'll let you get a try of that.
Yeah.
But I aged my own. Want to grab it over there? It's literally right next to you. I aged my own mash bill number 1. So the same thing as Buffalo Trace. So it's going to be a wheated bourbon. I aged it. I bought a little mini barrel, little cask. Aged it for a couple weeks, and I actually heat cycled it. So they recommend you put it in the barrel and you keep it for about 3 weeks. Every other day I was putting it in the oven on dehydrate. So get up to around 150 degrees, and it would pull a lot of the moisture out of the barrel. It would cause the barrel to swell also, taking a lot of extra stuff. And then I would leave it in there for about 20-ish, 30 minutes, and I would take it out and I would put it in the refrigerator, causing it to then shrink and force a lot of those sugars back out into the alcohol.
What's a big thing about when you have the rick house?
Yeah.
Is, and with the cycling barrels, for depending on what that barrel's intended for, they'll cycle the barrels so that they contract and retract more, and it's so that it forces the bourbon to go through, pushes it through the wood so that it takes up a lot of that charcoal and the oak from the wood.
Yeah. And you know what? That is the main flavor of bourbon. So I was trying to heat cycle it to try to get some more flavor out of it. You do not want to go over a certain temperature, otherwise you're going to burn off too much of the alcohol. So you want to keep it under, I think it was, I can't remember, there was, for some reason my mind is telling me 170 was a weird target for something, but I'm not 100% certain what it was. We've had too many whiskeys, and I cannot tell you exactly my elbow from my ass. But I remember putting it on dehydrate to try to pull as much moisture out of the oven to try to force the whiskey to pull the water out too, because it'll force the water into the barrel versus the alcohol. That's why you tend to get a lot of the drier states like Arizona and Texas with Balcones. They tend to have really dense whiskeys. Their oils and their alcohol levels tend to be higher because it forces a lot of the dry air, forces the water out versus the alcohol itself. When you get into more humid climates, it tends to force the alcohol out versus the water. So,
we can circle back to Texas a little bit. So, Fix and Fog is a all-natural peanut butter, and they have their straight peanut butter. They have like a smooth, a chunky, a super chunky.
Yeah.
And then
I'm going super chunky, but yeah.
They have, so the one that I like, is Smoke and Fire.
Okay.
So it has this nice smoky flavor to it, but then it finishes with a heat. So it's a peanut butter with a heat.
I'd probably eat celery again.
Yeah. So I eat it with breakfast. I'll eat it with my avocado toast. Just throw
avocado toast. God damn it.
When you throw some, get a nice good, like a good hearty, crispy bread. Put on a good amount of that peanut butter.
Yeah.
Like half an avocado, and I like to put a fried egg on mine.
Okay.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
You're throwing a lot of flavors at yourself, but that creaminess from that peanut butter.
Yeah.
Avocados are pretty creamy too. That
Yeah.
creaminess and that smoky underneath that fried egg, and then it just finishes with this heat. It is. If you're a peanut butter eater, it's definitely something to try out.
Cool. So is anybody else hungry now? I mean, we got pizza waiting for us after this, so we get to enjoy that, some bread to help soak up some of the stuff and kind of chill out for a bit. But yeah, no, that really does sound good. You're going to have to text me that information because I can guarantee I'm not going to remember because I'm going to eat that some point in time.
Yeah, it's very good peanut butter.
Obviously not labeled as I had to buy the bottle. Nice little top, synthetic cork. Ooh, for synthetic cork. I mean, those little tiny ridges, little divots or whatever, allow for that, and that is pretty. I do like that. That is the nicest synthetic cork I had ever seen, actually.
A couple weeks, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So it was Halloween.
Yeah.
We went to a wedding. That was a farm.
Smell this. Go for it.
It was at a farm. It was a Cooper farm, and they have a pumpkin patch and apple orchard, and they make their own hard ciders, like reds.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you have your wedding there, and you do the open bar, they include what ciders they have. Because they rotate, then they have like different flavors. And
I had my wedding at the wrong place.
We had like they had like the classic.
Yeah.
Apple. Then they had like I forget what the one I landed on was. It was like raspberry and something. So something that had a good spice to it.
Yeah.
It was really, and then party favors, like the gifts that they gave out.
Yeah.
They had like a couple you could choose from. There was like the old-fashioned donuts that they make there, and then they have honey that they make there. So you had
donuts are more cake or yeast?
Or cake.
Oh, okay.
Or cake, and then it's just a cake donut and like powdered sugar and cinnamon. It was really delicious.
Yeah.
But then they have like pure raw honey that they were giving out too.
Never had pure raw honey. I think most of the honey I've had. Well, actually, no. I think it starts off as pure raw honey. The hive, I believe, I have, and then they just throw in a little bit of some type of pepper or something that gives it a little spice. It's fantastic.
Becca's trying to. I mean, every week or so she has something new she wants to do. But she wants to get a beehive. She wants to keep bees.
And Becca is his wife.
She knows somebody that does.
Yeah.
That keeps bees. She's trying to get honey from her. But she wants. I mean, bees are extremely important.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they're dying off pretty fast.
Yeah.
So she wants to try to help and keep bees herself, and then have honey on tap.
Yeah.
Becca's dad went to another bourbon tasting at Barrel Club a few months ago. Not the best tasting we've ever been to, but it was a Texas distillery, the Garrison Brothers.
Oh, I keep hearing that actually.
So I don't know. I mean, we both didn't love anything that they had. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bourbon. It was okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But because they'll have somebody who works for Garrison come up and like go through the tasting and explain everything, and he was just like, a lot of it was just them explaining like the difficulties of distilling in Texas because of their extreme heat.
Yeah.
And like they have to use smaller barrels. They have to like define the water that they want to use was a difficulty. So they use They use water from a limestone quarry. Nothing. I mean, there's people who were there were like very adamant, like super big on Garrison Brothers, and they have one bottle that's kind of. We felt, because we got to try it, we felt it was out there in price. It was almost $20 a bottle.
Oh, jeez, no.
And well, I was like, I don't know, it's okay.
Yeah, it's
I would
not
never,
worth the price point.
But I never really thought about the difficulties of changing location.
Yeah.
Like that going down south, like in Texas.
So the big distillery that I know about, they're still growing. Balcones. They're actually one of my favorites in Texas, from all the Texas bourbons I've had or anything. They have the one Whiskey Tribe Crowded Barrel. It's basically it's a community-funded and community-grown whiskey company that's going to be, everything you do kind of helps them do and decide what they're going to do. That is one of my inspirations for even starting in general, just because they have great personality. They do a lot of cool stuff, and But Balcones in general, they have a couple whiskeys that are really good. They have a Texas bourbon that's super strong. It tastes like walnuts. It's really, really good. And then I recently got their brimstone is what they call it. It's a bourbon that tends to be so imagine hot burning coals on a fire. When you get too close, you get this like certain interesting smell and taste kind of in your mouth if you ever open your mouth or whatever and smell. And it's not overpowering, but it's just got this weird clean feeling. When you drink Brimstone, that's what I get, is that ridiculously interesting. It's kind of like charcoaly, but not overpowered. It is the most interesting whiskey that I've had in a long time, and that is probably one of my biggest surprises as of recent. But I think we should probably get to my it put into the barrel at 125 proof. It may have gone up due to dehydration, but it also may have gone down to just natural processes. It was in there for 3 weeks because it's a small barrel. It ages a lot quicker because of the volume. Can you smell anything?
I can feel, but I can't smell.
It's really disappointing because if you were trying to smell this, all you would smell is candy corn.
Really?
That's what this
Terrible.
is. Candy corn without the waxiness. Like, remove the waxiness of candy corn, you get that sweet corn smell. That's all it is. It's a lot of sweet corn and wood. No cherry whatsoever. It's like a corn whiskey, almost pure corn smell.
The Jack definitely kicked everything loose.
Yeah.
But now it's just runny nose compared to just stuffed.
I guess a hint of caramel too. Caramel corn.
So what was this before you put it in there?
It was mash number 1 from Buffalo Trace. Is their White Dog, I think it was called. And it's really good. Let's give it a try.
I like it.
I do too.
I mean, it's
really sweet.
more burn than I prefer
Yeah.
out of my drinks.
It's got a lot of pepper too.
Yeah, it's very, very, that pepper. That's
surprising.
I can feel it.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a big fan of
Pepper. I am too. I put
peppery
pepper
drinks, right?
I put a lot of pepper in my mashed potatoes. I prefer it over gravy. I'll just put pepper in my mashed potatoes.
I get yelled at all the time because I'll buy more pepper for the pepper mill before we need it because I go through it like crazy.
Burn's gone on number 2 for me. Number 2 got no burn. A lot of sweetness. A deep, rich caramel sweetness. Candy corn without the waxy taste, weird waxy taste that comes with caramel corn. Candy corn. I get pepper without the burn. I really like this though, and a lot of oak on the back end. It just finishes with a solid lump of oak. It's a little dry, but not too dry on the finish. A little bit of tannins come in, but it's strong. I would say it has to stay at least 125 proof. I believe it's there. I think that was the most burny out of the bunch, but it was not. It was good burn. Like, I've had offensive burns before. That was kind of a good burn.
This would be the winter drink.
Yeah.
This is
this is my. I mean, we're in fall right now, but this is gonna be keeping me happy through the winter.
This is definitely, like, now that I finished that little bit of a drink, everything is running right now.
Yeah.
I got mucus running down my throat. I can feel everything loose. Like, this is
got a cold?
They got a cold.
Clear it.
This is what they, back in the 1920s, straight prohibition, this is what they prescribed you.
Yeah. It's really good though. It really is good.
It's cough syrup.
I may put in the comments or in the information where I got my barrel. It was a new charred barrel, new oak barrel, new staves and everything, freshly charred and roasted and everything. And I put in a 51% corn or more mash bill. This is technically a bourbon. This is a Kentucky, well, not Kentucky, but it is a straight bourbon. This is a legitimate bourbon that I aged to myself. Didn't make it. I didn't distill it, but it is I highly recommend doing it. And then every other day, you know, just be careful. Don't. Oh, that's what it was. Alcohol burns at 175 degrees, so I wasn't going that high. Because if I go anything higher, it could ignite. It will ignite. Yeah.
I mean,
Just
still feel it. I mean, not.
it's
not a
like
burn. I feel
warm.
warm.
Yeah.
Like this is a.
It might also just be the fact that we had five whiskeys and two of them.
Now. Yeah.
At least two of them. Wait, what was the? Yeah, this was 95 proof. At least two of them over 120 proof. So, but it could be from this because it was a warm hug that never stopped. That's what I'm feeling right now. It's been wonderful.
I think on that note, if you want to take a short break, get some pizza.
Yeah, I think we're gonna probably cut it here and we'll say our goodbyes to you guys. We're gonna continue to live our lives and we'll be back another time. Till then, drink up, have fun, stay safe.